All right, so in any case, we'll update this while we're at it. The 106 ends, open. That doesn't really change anything at all. But if we go back to the 3D view, select none, and we select the rim, select, and we go to the UV image editor, open, rim, there it is. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now, what I'm going to do now is create a placeholder. So I'll go back to GIMP for that, but first I'll save. So this is the rim. As you can see, it's only one color. The layers are gone because I exported to Targa and not to XCF. All I'm going to do with this is I'm going to turn it pure red. And what I'm going to do is this will be a placeholder for the actual Arizona Tea skin, which will be the next step in the project, because that's going to be the real challenge in this. So if we export to 106, side, export it without compression, we quit and we go to Blender. Here we are in Blender, and I will select the side again. So select none, select the side by material, we go to the UV image editor. I open that placeholder, which is only red. And there we have a drinks can. And originally I was going to end this part of the video here, but it doesn't really make sense the way I've clipped it now. Now, one of the things you'd say, well, you haven't done environment mapping. It isn't shiny like it should be. All of that is true. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to bother with environment mapping on this model, just because the actual drink can skin is shiny. So it can kind of give you fake shininess in a game. Like you can see it there actually in the bottom. But that's another way to do it. Another thing you can do is change the top texture to make it a can which is closed. I'll do that later actually. That will actually be part of the project for a can that has not been opened. But for now, this is the drinks can. The very rough draft of the drinks can. Without a real skin yet. I said in my previous videos, or at least suggested, that texturing the tea can will be the most challenging part of the project, because obviously the whole side is curved. It's basically a cylinder. And this taper at the top makes it even harder. So my first idea is to scan the can in sections. So this is one of the sections. And you can see this is curved. Whether Blender will correct this, we'll have to see. I think maybe not. I might have to try something different. But I'll make a crude attempt at this with the expectation that it probably won't work correctly. So I will start by copy, paste. All right. So I'll move this into position. It's going to have to be scaled, of course. I'll actually keep the aspect ratio for now. Let's see if 1600 pixels height will be closer to what I want. This is going to be tricky. In fact, what I don't understand... Oh, okay. I was just looking at the can and I thought that was... maybe it had been cropped up here, but it's actually pretty much correct. Alright, so this actually has to go like this. And it has to be scaled up a little bit more. So we'll scale it up to maybe 1690. Just shy of 1700. If we move this into position, it's the correct width. And it's actually, if anything, still a little short. So maybe I was wrong earlier. But no, not really. I should move it into position here. And now I will take this into Blender and see how off it is. Because if it's really off, I'm going to have to reconceive how I'm going to do this UV map. So we'll make this into a working copy. Where's my Arizona T thing? Okay, Arizona can 105 side. And we'll say, actually not 105, but 107. Because I'll make a new version of it. Add full opacity, and then export. Export it as a targa. And this will look wrong, of course, but that's not really the point. Is, will this section look wrong? And if so, how much? So I'm going to have to take a look at that. And here we are back in Blender. I'll make a new version of this, save as 107. I'll go to Edit Mode, select the side material, go to the UV Editor, UV Image Editor, zoom out, and now take a look at this new texture, which will be incomplete. But if we jump back to the can in the 3D view, the funny thing is, this might actually be too small. Alright, so this is actually jumping way ahead. This is the can as of the end of version 107. You can see up there at the top. And the reason I skipped all this work is that you can see that I got less than completely horrible results with this. You can imagine that this is how the side of the can might look if it were poorly manufactured. But I had a lot of trouble stitching these sections together. I think that if I had had a wider angle lens maybe, or if I had studio lighting, there are many ways to stitch together photographs and make a decent texture. And I thought that I could do this. But in reality, I had so much trouble with it that eventually I decided not only to try something else, but also to not show you my botched efforts, because it would waste your time, really, because if this didn't work, well, you don't want to emulate this, obviously. So what I'm actually going to do is show you an experimental technique I tried. I don't know how many people do this, of rolling the can along the scanner, following the scanning head. And I'll actually demonstrate that in my subsequent videos.